All right, hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm going to walk you through the email that I have sent to tentative investors and or advisors. This is a continuation off of the video I did yesterday, which was a walkthrough of my intro deck, which you'll see here, and I'll quickly go through it at the end so you guys can see it in case you didn't see it before. So first off, when writing these emails, naturally the first thing that you have to think about is context. I mean, first off, obviously, who are you sending it to? What are some things that are going to be relevant and important to them? Don't fall into the trap of writing something that is going to be generic or specifically is going to be something that's only relevant to you. You have to put it in terms that are valuable to them. No one gives a shit about the thing you're working on unless you can somehow make it overlap to the thing that to the things that they care about. So first off, I got all of these emails. These are all basically cold emails to people. I tried to get introductions where I could, but these people are cold emails. So I got their emails from the attendee list at the Napa conference that I'm attending tomorrow. Well, actually, sort of startup hack. I'm actually not attending it. It would cost me $750 to attend a 1.5 day conference, and instead, I was able to get the email list from the amazing coordinator. She's fantastic, and now I'm emailing them. So, little hack there, save some money, and so. With that said, naturally, the first thing you have to think about from your sort of recipient's experience is they're naturally going to see the title first. And as you actually see down here, it's sent from his iPhone, which indicates that, clearly anytime you're going to be messaging high-level people, the odds that they're sitting down at their desk and are reading your email are slim to none. So you have to not only think about the title, but you also have to think the fact that, it's going to be a mobile experience for them seeing your email. And so what are the things they're going to see? They're only going to see the title, and they're probably only going to see the first couple of words, which is why I led with something that resonates with them immediately, Napa. So it adds both urgency and relevance. So not only do I put something Catholic, which they might then just save for later, but I put Napa. And so there's some urgency to it, so they know they have to look at it now. It's worth noting that I also follow it up with everyone where I could if they had also provided a cell phone number. So I ended up texting these people too. And yes, that's kind of brash since I'm cold calling them. But honestly, if I'm an investor, if I'm an advisor, I want someone who's going to go out and get it. And someone, a young, ambitious person who's going out of their way and doing all they can to meet with you, I think is a good sign. It's something you want to see in a founder and in someone in whom you're going to invest. So, and then staying with the title, Napa meeting regarding Catholic startup. So already this is a good synthesis of what exactly I'm trying to do and what it's about. Obviously, I want to meet at Napa regarding a Catholic startup. So it's interesting. Hopefully it's interesting. It's relevant via Napa and Catholic, and it's a startup. So, interesting, cool thing going on. Even if I had no interest in being an investor or an advisor, I'd still be interested to know what Catholic startups are going on, because honestly, there aren't really all that many. There was something else I was going to say that I now forget, but let's just jump into it. So, who is Rob? Rob is the managing director at Hager Pacific, which is a commercial real estate firm. So the guy is wealthy, which is only one of the reasons that I reached out to him. Honestly, this isn't some pretense of, I just want their money or anything like that. I honestly do want strategic partners, and that's such a overused term. But really, when you're thinking about it, anyone can give you money, right? And a lot of people will raise from family and friends, and that's all well and good. But especially from investors, ultimately, if you really want to succeed in the long run, you want to be able to build a great team. And I actually talk about this. I'm building a high-achieving and values-aligned team, which maybe it sounds cheesy, but honestly, that's what I'm doing. I mean, as the CEO, what are your principal responsibilities? Well, if you're the captain of the ship, your job is to get the ship pointed in the right direction, get everyone rowing in the right direction, and to that extent, make sure that everyone is sitting in the right seats. I think it's Jim Collins who talks about this, getting everyone on the bus and then seated in the right seats. Because you might have like the CFO sitting in the CTO spot, and until he's sitting in the CFO spot, it doesn't really matter that you have that great person in your organization until they're properly situated. So given that, the CEO's responsibilities are like set the vision, get the team, get them seated in the right seats, and get them pointed in the right direction. It's like 4 responsibilities, and most of which revolve around the team. And why is that? I mean, an organization, a company, a startup is nothing other than a group of people working in a given direction. That's it. And so since a startup's success or a company's success comes down basically exclusively to execution, that means that all of the company's success is predicated on the quality of the people, the consistent and intelligent effort that they apply in the right direction. And so it's imperative to be able to get the right people on your team. And so as relates to getting investments, it's more, you have to think beyond just getting money. Who cares? And you can get money from almost anywhere. You could just work a part-time job. But what's really advantageous is to go 2 for 1, is to get 2 birds with one stone. Get their money, or get money in general. Get their money sounds so like manipulative. But get the money, but then have a partner. Have someone that you want to work with, someone you admire, whose expertise is either a lot better than your own in your own domain, or else has expertise in a domain with which you are basically illiterate. Like, I'm technically illiterate. I have no idea how to build an app. I have no idea how to do any of that. And so I would be smart and wise to partner with someone who's really intelligent and knows this stuff more than just simply outsourcing to a dev shop firm, which is what I'm going to do in the beginning. But ultimately, I need to bring someone in who really understands that and the cross-functionality of it, how it touches product, marketing, sales, yada, 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 yada. So bringing it all back to investors, making it relevant to them, really looking for partners. So yes, the guy's wealthy, but he has a lot of business experience and leadership experience and a lot of corporate experience that, even though I've worked in consulting in the past, am still lacking in. And so he's someone that I would want to reach out to. So getting back into the analysis of the actual email. So in general, you'll notice that it's relatively brief. It'd be easy to try to like spell out your whole business plan and whatnot. But really, I mean, it's like fishing, right? You want to have a hook. You want to establish credibility, interest, alignment, and then you want to talk about next steps and, kind of like keep them wanting for more and maybe give them some opportunities to explore more if they're interested. So let's just go line by line. So, hi, Rob. So casual greeting. Don't like get caught up in this like stick up your butt like dear Rob, like whatever. Like these people are people. I mean, look how he responds. It's like blah. It's like one word on the go. Like these people are smart, and smart people are succinct and to the point. So try to be the same with them. Hi, Rob, and like don't pussyfoot too. Like I'm clear about what I'm trying to do. I'm looking to build a team of advisors and investors. Like boom, obviously, hey, I'm interested in you being an advisor or an investor. Like I'm not like, oh, we should just chat. Like these people aren't dumb, right? They're successful and they're investors and whatever because they're smart and they see through BS. So just always give it to these people straight. So hey, Rob, my name is Eric Niehaus. It links to my LinkedIn in case he wants to see a little bit more about me. I come from a consulting/VC background. Immediately here, I'm establishing some credibility. He doesn't know me, but he knows that people in consulting and VC tend to be pretty smart people and tend to know what they're doing. And then I say, I now run Coin. So, okay, I'm entrepreneurial. I'm heading up this interesting startup, whatever, a Catholic community startup. Okay, interesting. It relates to Catholicism and it relates to community. Well, both of those things apply to him. Maybe community less so. Community is kind of like this like cheesy buzzword, so maybe that's not the best. But then I include the intro deck that I showed in the other video. Again, I'll show it here. Well, I'll just go quickly through it here right now. So the intro deck is, I'm just going to just quickly go through this in case you guys haven't seen it. I'll let anyone who wants to stop and take a look at it. You'll notice that the labels in the top right, this is a video, the labels in the top right all are based logically, and everything is clear and succinct. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The competition slide's pretty poor. Overall, I made it at like 1 a.m. last night, so you would want to spend more time on this and quantify it more, but I wanted to get this out to people, and I'm glad I did. So that was the deck. So boom, in the first line, I established who I am, why I'm relevant, why I'm maybe worth taking the rest of the 30 seconds to actually read this email. So I say, I was wondering if you'd be open to meeting on Tuesday in New York City to get to know each other a little. Boom. Right away, this is what I'm asking. I'm asking to meet on Tuesday in New York City. Again, not pussyfooting around, not getting distracted, right to the point. I'm building a high-achieving and values-aligned team of advisors and investors. So again, a little bit more context as to why I'm reaching out to him. High-achieving and values-aligned. Obviously, via Napa, we're values-aligned, / being Catholic. High-achieving, he is this managing director, and so clearly I'm interested in having him on my team. And I thought your experience leading Hager Pacific, I thought this would be worth exploring. Notice that I'm not making this committal. I'm not saying that like I want you on my team already, right? Which is something that I actually used to do, and I think it's a sign of desperation and weakness of saying like, oh, I want you on my team. Like, chill out. Like, why do you want me on your team already? Like, are you this desperate? Like, really, I should come from a point of strength, right? It's like dating. Like, you don't want to go on a date with someone who's like, oh my gosh, will you go out with me? Will you marry me on the first date or something, right? You just say like, hey, like let's grab a drink sometime or something, right? Something that indicates that I'm checking you out as much as I'm letting you check me out, because I know what I'm worth, and I'm not going to be like too willy-nilly with these positions and with a relationship with me and my organization. So I want to make sure that you're actually good. And this is all implicit, right? And again, overall, stylistically, like, maybe this isn't your style, but it's the style that works for me. The key with these things, though, I think is to really actually keep it cool, casual. Like, even though this is like, kind of formal, it doesn't read like very formal, right? There aren't a lot of Latin derivative words. There aren't too many syllables. It's all pretty straightforward. Like, if I were to say this in real life, it would sound normal, right? Hey, I was wondering if you'd be open to a meeting on Tuesday in New York so we can get to know each other a little bit. Like, I didn't say like, I was wondering if we might at some point wherein, I don't know, whatever the hell. You get what I'm saying. Just like keep it real. And then, so boom, I say, if you're willing. So again, not being assumptive, or presumptuous rather, I can make almost any time slot work. This is a link to a Calendly, so he can schedule a time if he wants. Probably a dumb idea, honestly, because they're not going to like schedule a time with me. But it does, I guess, I don't know. I don't think it's actually all that redeeming. Even if you only have 10 minutes. So boom, clearly I'm indicating that their time is valuable and that I'm not going to take up too much of their time. And again, just being respectful of who they are and what they're about. I say we can also do another day / time if that works better for you. Again, being accommodating without seeming desperate at all. I say, thanks, Rob. Hope we can connect. Boom. And that's it. And so I got an email back from him. And he said, okay, let's meet. And this was, like within an hour. Eric, okay, let's meet. You'll get Bernie too. I emailed his wife. I thought they were related, but she runs a different organization, so I wasn't entirely sure. It's actually the Neal foundation or trust. So, if you ever see someone's last name in a foundation email, they got money, all right? So he's just asking if we're here. If so, we can sit together at breakfast. I responded, I'm actually not officially attending, trying to pinch every penny so I can meet you two before breakfast, or else we can have a quick sit down during one of those breaks, whichever you prefer. I've actually been to a previous Napa conference, so I'm fairly aware of how the structures work. I'm actually driving from DC to New York, so before breakfast is pretty ambitious, and so I'm probably going to be getting up around like 2 or 3 a.m. in order to make the drive, and also potentially I will miss traffic. And that's a commitment you got to make. I used to do that when I was in my previous VC job. I would call Europe at 2 and 3 a.m. because of the time difference, and I wanted to catch these people. And again, just one of the many different small sacrifices you have to make in order to get things to work. But honestly, this was actually an imperfect response. It's nice and casual and whatever. But look, the guy clearly said, hey, I have availability during breakfast. And what I just counter-proposed were times apart from breakfast. Look, I'm not saying that this isn't a big deal, but it's like, look, the guy's clearly willing and available to chat during breakfast. What I should have done and what I followed up saying was like, hey, I'm also happy to meet at breakfast, because maybe he only has breakfast available. And I haven't gotten a response back from him yet. But overall, I mean, this worked. I mean, this guy is a managing director at a big commercial real estate firm. I don't think it's like that big. I think it's got like 50 employees or something, but clearly the guy's well off. He's an important person. And I was able to, I'm scheduling a meeting with him. So one final note, take the time to send good emails if the people are important. There's a great quote. It goes something to the extent of, I wish I had, if I had more time to write you this letter, I would have made it shorter. Like the point being that like you should spend a good amount of time editing on these emails if they're important enough. I probably spent 15 minutes writing this email or something, and it's like, oh my gosh, 15 minutes, like that's a long time to write an email, and it is, but it's worth it. Like I sent a counter proposal to the other investor that had offered $100,000, and it took me like an hour and a half to write that email because I wanted to get it right. I mean, like I'm talking about $100,000 and potentially up to like $500,000 or maybe even more with this guy. So naturally, you want to get it right. And I'm so glad I did because even though like he hasn't gotten back to me in a week, which is very concerning, and at this point, I just assume that it's not going to work out. Which you should always basically assume that things don't work out, that they won't work out. But I'm so glad that I took that time because I've gone back and read it twice, out of like insecurity and like, did I say something wrong? And both times I was like, no, this is a very reasonable and casual, fun, normal email. There's no way that 99 out of 100 people would read that and think anything is weird or unreasonable about it. So taking the time to write and edit will just make sure that your emails and your correspondence age well, which as a corollary of that, I should also have probably taken more time to make sure that this was really well done because, again, it might look fancy, but honestly, it's missing basically all of the quantification that is necessary that smart investors are going to care about. And it's just, it's like a B minus PowerPoint, if that. Honestly, it's probably more like a C. So really not that great, but I didn't have that much time. But why didn't I have that much time? Because I didn't plan well. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's my fault for these things. But anyway, guys, that is the email. Hope you liked it. I don't, I don't really care. But what I mean to say is that I hope you got something from it and it's helpful. Again, sort of like business 101, but applied to investors. It's a little bit more unique. So let me know if you have any questions.